Almost 10 years ago, everyone knew who Jeremy Meeks was. His mugshot went viral in 2014. He quickly became known as the Hot Felon, and thousands of people online started rallying behind him. After he was ultimately released from prison, his life officially changed forever. And you'll never believe just how he managed to turn it all around and what he's been up to since. After becoming a viral sensation, Jeremy essentially walked out of prison and immediately into the limelight. Everyone wanted a piece of him, especially when it came to modeling gigs and media campaigns. Since his release, he has had the opportunity to walk in some of the world's most famous and high-profile catwalks. He managed to make an entire career out of modeling, and he's even starred in some movies and commercials. But once the world knew who he was, a lot of people wanted to know more about his life, and just how someone like him managed to get pulled so deeply into the prison system. At the time, Jeremy said that, considering the life he had before the viral mugshot, it's a miracle that he's made it to where he is today, and that he's actually been able to live past the age of 30. He said that he had a difficult upbringing, which he described as being pretty dark. He said that both of his parents were actually addicted to illegal substances, so when he was born, he was also addicted to the same substances. So in a lot of ways, it kind of seems like he was doomed to be involved in a life of crime from the day he was born. But on top of that, his father also had a pretty major run-in with the law when Jeremy was just 9 months old. When explaining the situation on the What's Your Water podcast, Jeremy revealed that his father actually ended someone's life. He said that his father took the life of his mother's best friend because he was looking for his kids and believed that she was hiding them. His father was then tried in court and sentenced to prison in 1984. Shockingly enough, Jeremy said that his father actually was released in 2017. And these days, he's apparently proud of where his son is now. But the damage had been done, and when Jeremy was just 15 years old, he moved out of his house and found himself involved in a life of crime while living on the streets. And he was ultimately sent to live in a juvenile detention center after being beaten up by gang members, which started the terrible cycle of his life in and out of the system. This terrible life of crime also made it extremely difficult for him to be all that educated. Jeremy said that he could only read at a 5th grade level when he went to real prison. He said that the only thing juvenile detention did for him was make him adapt to the violence of the streets and life of crime even more. And when he was just 18 in 2002, he was charged with robbery and injury to a child after he got in a fight with someone a few years younger than him. That charge resulted in 9 years at the infamous San Quentin State Prison, which is a maximum security facility. After being released in 2014, Jeremy found himself in trouble once again, this time under felony weapons charges. This was what resulted in that mugshot that went viral and forever changed his life. But that time, it was a much shorter sentence. He was sentenced to 27 months in prison. But at the same time, everyone online was figuring out just how they were going to get him out. He said that once his mugshot really took off, he started getting nearly 300 letters a day. And while he was incarcerated, he said that he received 45 modeling contracts and even had movie opportunities. When recounting the story while talking to BuzzFeed, he said that he had never even seen a contract in his entire life. And he felt like it was practically like trying to read a completely different language, which was incredibly overwhelming for him. After finally being released in 2016, after serving just 13 months of his original sentence, he was immediately hit with even more opportunities. And he just hit the ground running and was able to get a major deal with one of the biggest modeling agencies around. He was able to walk in major runways at Milan Fashion Week, Paris Fashion Week, and more. It was even photographed for numerous high-profile campaigns and covers. Interestingly enough, though, he was actually married the whole time to a woman named Melissa Meeks. The two of them got married in 2008 and had a son together. And Jeremy adopted Melissa's 2 children from her previous marriage. When talking about his new career and getting out of the system, Jeremy said that he was finally in a place where he could actually provide for his family, and that he never thought he could be recognized around the world for his looks. He said that he was just so thankful for the opportunity he'd been given, but unfortunately, it seems as though fame might have gone into his head. In 2017, he was spotted kissing the heiress to Top Shop, Chloe Green, which was also around the same time that he filed for separation from his wife, Melissa. He and Melissa were officially divorced in 2018, and he actually went on to have a son with Chloe that same year. But that relationship was short-lived, and they'd already split by 2019. Despite the quickness of the whole thing, it seemed as though their split was amicable, and he even told Extra at the time that he and his exes were all co-parenting. Although we don't see much of him anymore, a huge part of that is because he now lives in Monte Carlo, in Monaco, since they have very strict paparazzi laws. And it seems like his kids are the biggest priority in his life right now. While talking to Hollywood Life, Jeremy said that his kids have changed his life forever and that they really slow him down and make him enjoy life. He said they're his motivation and his fuel to do what he does, and that he really wants to change the generational curse of being stuck in the prison system. To this day, Jeremy says that he feels grateful to the judge who worked on his case all those years ago and who urged him to change his life around. On the What's Your Water podcast, Jeremy said that he also wanted to look into making music. He said that a lot of the music he used to listen to made him really angry and made him want to do much worse things in life. So, because he knows just how much music can affect kids, he doesn't want to ever promote anything negative and wants to make music with a positive message. Just earlier, in April of this year, Jeremy also revealed his plans to work with a ghostwriter to create a memoir based on his life and his rise to fame. He revealed this information while talking to TMZ after arriving at the LA International Airport, and he said that it's actually set to release by October of this year, which is basically now. He said that he was incredibly excited for the book to come out and that his whole life has really been a ride. During the conversation, he also revealed that he's currently single, but that he's really focused on his career and even has a bunch of movies coming out. So it looks like his career is still doing great all these years later, and it doesn't look like he plans on going back to a life of crime anytime soon. But anyway, what are your thoughts on all this? Do you think that Jeremy was able to make the most out of his fame once his mugshot went viral? What are your thoughts on him divorcing his wife, Melissa, only to then be with a well-known woman in the fashion industry? Let me know in the comments below.